I don't like usually when it came to how things change in a video game. My opinion wouldn't be really heard on any of the matters regarding it. So, before I start, I would love to give a credits to my two beautiful, lovely, leak translators, Lala Xcargo and Yukonon. Both lovely people. Both the most down to earth pair of gals I've ever met. They are responsible for they're completely responsible for all the leaks that is on my server, and is basically, like, I'm pretty sure, like, the reason why people got their leaks so easily and translated was because of Lala and Yukonon. So that's what a lot of people aren't telling you. I'm not gonna say like these guys are like on like my team. These are straight up just Lala and Yukonon. So you could thank them. They're probably the best pair of translators like out there. Like, they translated the shit in a span of 4 hours, and it looks tiring as. And Lala actually also added the explanations for the adjustments, so we could also insult the devs' way of thinking and handling of how they're gonna be handling all these different sort of characters. And we're gonna talk about every single buff, nerf, change in detail. Let's get started, yeah. So automatically, we are told that Axeboy, Blood Queen, Dream Witch, Leo, Doctor, Mechanic, Mind's Eye, Postman, Dancer, Priestess is getting an adjustment. Same thing with Arms Factory, Leo's, Moonlit, and other spawn maps location. And then the Rescue, the Chat, and the Ever Sleeping Town Tram is being changed. Now we can already see a bunch of big names here. First up being Bloody Queen, Dream Witch, Priestess, and Mechanic. Some of the less known names: Axeboy, Leo, Mind's Eye, Postman, Dancer. So it could be. So obviously this is a pretty influential buff right off the bat. So let's just get right into it. Mind's Eye's adjustment: new skill, sound wave interference, cooldown, 45 seconds. Hitting the ground with a cane emits a sound wave and will affect the nearby hunter. The affected hunter will lose balance and step back for a few steps. She is now able to perform echolocalization while moving. Her decoding speed got nerfed to 20% and adjusting the field of view for light and heavy taps. What? Okay. I mean, this isn't the problem with Mind's Eye, but the Mind's Eye is a survivor who has limited sight and has no self-defense, has been regarded as a weak character. Therefore, this adjustment is to give the Mind's Eye self-defense ability. The adjustment for her sight is to improve her adaptability. In addition, in order to balance the Mind's Eye with self-defense ability, now her decoding speed reduced to 20%. So why would I still play Mind's Eye, though? Wait, what? Wait, what? What the fuck is the point of this? Like, hold on. Okay, so you have this new ability that could push hunters. I've seen it work on Leos. Okay, with Big Whoop, okay, you can push a hunter like a little bit away. But does that really like change much of anything if the hunter has really good chase, like a Violinist or a Bloody Queen or a Ripper? Like, what does this affect? All this really did is just like nerf the decode. Which is okay by me. I'm a hunter, man. Whatever, sure. But I'm pretty sure this is not the reason why nobody played Mind's Eye. Mind's eyesight won't be that blind anymore. She could see more. That's true. So she could mind game better, or she could understand if they're trying to mind game, so she could see it preemptively. But overall, this feels like a nerf. Like, the reason people don't play Mind's Eye is the fact that she's so shit at kiting. Her pallet speed is shit. Her vaulting is shit in general. But giving her a stunt, why? What's the point of this? Like, I understand that you could. I can understand if you're trying to like give some more variety to these types of characters, but what? This is just the most useless addition that I think I've seen in this game so far. Like, what's the point of this? This doesn't affect like her actual like ability to do much of anything. It didn't address her core problems of being in an active kite also. So it's still, why would I play Mind's Eye when I could still play Mechanic? And her decode speed is nerfed anyway, so now she's even more useless. So there's less incentive to even play her. And regardless, no one's going to play Mind's Eye because of this ability that has 45 seconds. Okay, sure, you could push away the hunter, but why wouldn't I play, like, say, Triple Rescue? And then I still Cypher Rush you regardless, because that's just how the game works. So realistically, I don't need a decoder like Mind's Eye, because Mind's Eye doesn't add much value to the Cypher Rush other than a measly 20%. If she gets found in a meta that's all about surviving as long as possible, if she gets found first, she's dying in 15 seconds in a hunter that knows what at least they're doing. So it's really hard. It's really questionable why they would give her an ability that could push the hunter back a bit. And depending on how this works, like I could see it working on some maps, like Leo's or like Big Boat on Lakeside. But overall, this shit does really nothing for Mind's Eye. So overall, I can't really understand why they would do this because, like, again, this doesn't address any of her core problems. But sure, whatever. More power to you, Mind's Eye. So overall, this is a huge nerf to Mind's Eye. Sure, the ability, okay, whatever. I would have to see it more in action for it to be utilized. But right now, the fact that her kiting did not get addressed, and the fact that, okay, I could see the hunter a little bit more, but does that really matter? And adjusting the field of view for light and heavy taps, I can't understand that. And their explanation is kind of garbage, but she's still a weak character, and giving her a stun ability is not the way to go. Because now every character nowadays has a stupid stun ability. But hey, way to remove your incentive of just pure kiting ability. But instead of just saying, okay, kite using normal skills, and instead you have like two really strong hunters able to just get rid of anybody who could not kite properly, which makes for a really unhealthy meta. But we'll see. Postman adjustment, okay. Add skill bite. When the dog is in middle of delivering the letter, pressing the skill button will cause the dog to dash and can bite the hunter. Dash direction depend on the player camera. Long press on the skill button allows the player to change the direction of the dog dash. If the dog doesn't bite anyone after reaching maximum delivery difference or hitting an obstacle, the dog will return to player. The speed of the bitten hunter is decreased by 35% for 6 seconds. And that's on a 45-second cooldown? What the 35% for 6 seconds? That's a huge amount of time. So this defeats the whole purpose of... Wait, so this just defeats the whole purpose of Postman. Delete Pharaoh, Bravery, Inspiring Letters, so now Postman only has 3 letters. Wait, so like, are they like completely removed from the game? Like Bravery, Inspiring Letters, and now he only has Urgent, Tranquility, and Hope letters? And the cooldown got increased. Urgent's 10% for 30 seconds, Decode 20% for 30 seconds, Gate Opening Speed buff 30 seconds. Dog can no longer be attacked by hunters. Doesn't really matter. I never really attacked the dog anyways. The required time to send letters now between 10 to 15 seconds. Dev's explanation. Postman has no self-defense ability. Thus, he stays as minor character for a long time. Due to self-defense ability and letters adjustment, the cooldown slightly increased for balance purpose. So let me get this straight. You put his kiting ability on a lower cooldown, but not his... You nerf his actual, like, what he's used for to 65 seconds, even? Why aren't these cooldowns switched? Why can't the letter sending be 45 seconds and the dog biting is 65? Why are they deciding to give every single survivor a stun or some sort of crowd control for the hunter? Realistically, this does like 35% for 6 seconds is a huge amount of slow for a large amount of time. And it also depends if this goes off 35% for 6 seconds, if those 6 seconds, if that cooldown gets triggered on cast, so that means for the time it takes to send out the dog and for the time it takes for the whole cooldown to wear off on the hunter itself, will this cooldown be triggered? So realistically, like 6 seconds, this could automatically be 39 seconds, and then whatever time that there's no like interaction with the dog. So realistically, this could be a 30-second cooldown and a hefty 35% slower and this could be really devastating early game in some areas. So realistically, this kind of defeats the whole purpose of what Postman is. They kind of nerfed what he was originally for. Movement speed buff 10% for 30 seconds, whatever. Decoding buff 20% for 30 seconds, whatever. You got Cypher Rush anyways. Gate opening speed buff 30%. This shit's stupid. I don't know why you would need, or I don't know why you would want to add a gate opening buff for a specific character, because the gates already fly open. You know, I blink once and all of a sudden, well, the gates are open. Well, f me, right? Because what else am I gonna do? But overall, this just defeats the purpose of what Postman is. And again, their explanation is just garbage. He has no self-defense ability. Well, hell yeah, there's not many characters that have a self-defense ability, except your rescue characters who all have like overpowered defense abilities. So I'm really curious when they're gonna decide to address triple rescue or any rescuer and how easy it is to get away from the hunter if they find you. but I guess they're only focusing on characters that can't kite for some reason and trying to make them more viable, so more hunters have, or all hunters have more to deal with rather than, oh, you know, okay, well, at least it's not triple rescue. Alright, so I'm pretty sure this is what most of you are curious about, Blood Queen, my opinion on the hunter changes, more specifically Bloody Queen. So, let's look at it. Blood Queen adjustment. Movement speed will drop slightly, and from what Lala showed me on a chart, she is now as fast, or a little bit faster than Joseph. So, when you think about Joseph and his move speed and Bloody Queen, one major difference is that Joseph can be a significant amount away from the survivor to still get a hit off. Okay. That's fine. Her move speed was kind of ridiculous. Especially, like, you know, in conjunction with using the mirror. So that wasn't too bad. So, overall, I thought the nerf to the move speed would be a lot worse. Like, she'll be blackguard speed and then she'll just be useless. But, overall, not too bad. She could still... The only thing is that her hitbox is kind of so it's going to be a lot harder to get those really cheeky hits through, like, regular chases. And overall, like, from what I'm thinking about is how she needs to sort of put herself into a better position to get the hit off, and she does that with her move speed in general, because she has to position herself in order to get hits. But now, in a regular chase, with mirror being down, it's going to be nigh impossible for her to get a hit. So she's going to rely totally on her mirror image. Bloody Queen was as fast as White Guard? Okay. And White Guard has his mile-long hitbox, but Bloody Queen doesn't. But, okay, whatever. We could talk about that later. Mirror image duration from 16 seconds to 13 seconds, and her cooldown increased to 15 seconds. Okay. So, realistically, the downtime is still the same. It's still a 28-second downtime when you place the mirror. Because, you know, because if the mirror is up for 16 seconds total, and then the cooldown's 12 seconds, that's still 28. But now if it's up for only 13 seconds, but it's down for 15, it's still 28. So, realistically, this just gives her less room to work with if she misplaces a mirror, or if she just has a mirror. Like, she can't patrol a cipher for that long of a time anymore. And now it's pretty much the same thing with her cooldown. So it's going to require Bloody Queen users to be a lot more precise with their mirrors and a lot more accurate from what the initial is. So I'm actually curious what they think. Bloody Queen is a top ban character. The mirror image ignores terrain, and the mirror image has a long duration. So the reason of this adjustment is to make Bloody Queen players to use the skill with higher accuracy and to lower the difficulty level of lower ranked players to fight the Blood Queen. Okay. That's fine. It's not a bad nerf. This doesn't kill her, but this obviously makes a huge impact with the move speed. The move speed is what really is the nerf here. The fact that she's slower is what kind of makes this a nerf, because like I said, this is still a 28-second uptime completely. You know, 16-12, do the math, 13-15, do the math. It's still a 28-second, you know, time window to work with. So, but now when it comes to, like, chase accuracy, this forces Bloody Queens to be a lot more accurate, and it will be a lot more punishing if they flat out miss the mirror. So overall, depending on the Dream Witch nerf we're about to get into, she shouldn't be top banned anymore. Dream Witch should automatically be top banned, because Bloody Queen can be more abused than Dream Witch in the first place, automatically. But NAU servers, survivors are, you know, except a select few that do ban Dream Witch, they just don't know how to counter her. And it's like, okay, well, you're not going to really learn much if you just keep banning the same character over and over again, right? Except with the exception of me banning Seer, because Seer's just a broken character, and he's not going to get fixed anytime soon, apparently, because I didn't see Seer, and he's allowed to be, you know, as ban-worthy as he is all these seasons later. But as a Bloody Queen main, as the first Bloody Queen ever since her release, essentially, this doesn't kill her. This nerf is actually quite fine, to be honest. It's needed. This does really nothing to her. Well, it does do something to, like, the lower tier Bloody Queens, and Bloody Queens that don't know what they're doing, like high tier Bloody Queens that just start picking her up. But for more experienced Bloody Queens, I would say this does really nothing. Like, you might feel it at first, but once you get used to it, I could easily see this being, like, disregarded. It's just the movement speed buff will be a little bit thing to be worried about. But overall, everyone's saying, "Oh my God, Bloody Queen's murdered from this." She's not. Shut the fuck up. Dream Witch adjustment. Alright. All I'm hoping for is this bitch gets butchered into the ground because this character's brainless. Let's see. If there are 1, 2, 3, 4 leech survivors, the time to remove the curse will be reduced by 0, 5, 10, 15 seconds. That's useless! Every 0, 1, 2, 3 survivors killed, the curse removal time becomes 35, 30, 20, 15. That's useless! Woo! Yay, netties! Addressing not the problem for this character at all! Yay! I'm so glad that they can at least look at Bloody Queen and say, hey, this is what's wrong with her, so let's give her a more downtime. But with Dream Witch, we can't do anything. We can't. Wait, what do we do? Where's the problem? What? It's totally not like her chase is impressive or her map pressure's wow, netties, wow. Good. Let's do the explanation. Hold on. Let's read the explanation for this one. Dream Witch is a field control type of hunter and a character with relatively high difficulty to play. No, the f she's not. You play like 50 games on her and you already know the basics of what the f to do. Okay, so automatically, if you're saying she's a field control type of hunter and a character with relatively high difficulty to play, difficulty has nothing to do with how balanced the character is. I should not learn a character and automatically my rates of winning are like 90%. That should not work. That shouldn't be a mechanic in a video game. This really shouldn't. So, if you say she's a field control type of hunter, I'm expecting her field control to be nerfed. Because she's a lot more than just field control. She's the fact that she can have someone all over the map at any time. No, that's not allowed. It doesn't matter if she has relatively high if she has a high skill floor, because realistically anybody can learn that skill floor and they can become oppressive. Skill difficulty has nothing to do with balance on a character. Please, netties, learn what the f is wrong with your characters. If survivors leech and early game, the flow of the match is usually on the hunter side. What the fuck does that tell you about your hunter? An action can't be taken without the game being considered automatically towards the hunter. If survivors will leech early game, the flow of the match is on the hunter side. So you mean to tell me that you're going to be going right next to a character, they're leech, oh, well, Dream Witch is winning! Well, there she got a leech! She got a free hit! Wow, it's as if you don't, wow, as if I can be notified that the Dream Witch is coming near me, like every other hunter, and she can get a free hit if she finds the right person. Wow, thank you, netties, for addressing the problem early game if there is a leech coming onto me. Not the fact that there's already a hunter on me without my attention where I can't rotate away, but because I got leeched. Oh yeah, that's why the flow is in the hunter side, because I got leeched. Not because I got hit, but because I got leeched already. And it's also the fact that, you know, Patrol is going to start out the Dream Witch is going to start out the Patrollers like they're I don't know, like she just ate Taco Bell the previous day and she's like, oh my god, I have constipation issues. Like, whatever. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Thus making it difficult for the survivor to remove the curse. If I'm getting leeched early, this is gonna tunnel me down, use my items, and then I'm just gonna get hit twice. Because guess what? That's how leeches work, and that's how this game works. Because it's brain dead as shit to play Dream Witch. Therefore, we have adjusted the self curse removal time. This is not why she's broken. This is not why she's this is the most stupidest character in this game right now. Like, if you play, like, in any tournament, this character is getting picked or banned. This is the character to pick or ban. Unless you have brainless f*** like me playing only Bloody Queen of the 2 S-tier hunters. But then again, you wouldn't be considered a good hunter if you're only playing, oh, Bloody Queen Dream Witch, aha. And then you see all these hunters, cough, cough, PPX, getting 3-man on another hunter that's not Dream Witch or Bloody Queen. This is why there's a problem with your video game. This is why there is significant power differentials between your characters. You have Dream Witch and Bloody Queen strong, and then that forces you to make more bull on the survivor end so that other hunters can't deal with it. I guarantee you made all these adjustments to Postman, Mind's Eye, and whoever the f else from these adjustments with the idea that Blood Queen and Dream Witch are the 2 strongest hunters, but the fact that another hunter like Gamekeeper is not going to be able to do against it. Because realistically, do you know how hard it is to get the same results with Gamekeeper? Maybe, wow, it's as if there's a problem with the nature of your game and you don't realize it. This is not the problem with Dream Witch. We're just gonna remove some seconds from self-removal. Yeah. And then at 3 survivors killed, who the f*** gonna be cleansing? What's the point? If 2 survivors, no one's gonna be self-cleansing. But it doesn't matter. 30 does this revolve around self-cleansing? Because if it's 30 seconds, it says the curse removal time becomes 35, 30, 20, 15. I hope that this is self-removal. If it's when someone else is removing it, okay, I swear to I was about to just curse out Netties, but I'm probably gonna get demonetized. But this shit is nothing to Dream Witch. This is not even a nerf. This is not relevant enough to be a nerf. Dream Witch, this is the same. How do you make 2 meaningful nerfs, or 3 or 5 meaningful nerfs to Bloody Queen, which was first all the nerfs that she received off a TEF server, all the nerfs that she received just now, and then everything else besides that. So all of a sudden you got what? A couple seconds on mirror image. That's it. So realistically, you have no other changes. But now with Dream Witch, oh yeah. By the way, there's not going to be no other changes other than these self-removal marks, because why else would they be here? Or what else do we have to nerf about her? This is clearly why survivors are losing the game. So you mean to tell me that this is so you mean to tell me that they looked at this nerf and said, "All right, guys, we fixed Dream Witch. She's no longer the most powerful brain dead shit in the game." You mean to tell me that? You mean to tell me that this garbage is still going to be allowed? What about, okay, so Bloody Queen. Again, 2 meaningful, great nerfs. First, she can't insta-mirror. Second, all this shit right here takes more skill to play her. Okay, that's fine. She's a little bit overwhelming. But with Dream Witch, oh yeah, she has a high skill ceiling, so she has to be broken. Are you serious? Are you serious? If you know how to play Dream Witch, if you put the time in to invest in her, she is the strongest hunter in the game. There is no doubt about that. Or unless you play Dream Witch and you suck at her and then you get 3 men by mammoths. But whatever, that's not my cup of tea. But you know, don't look at that, Netties. Look at your actual like good Dream Witches, like PPX. Thank you. Don't look at the Dream Witches suffering in Manticore, or what's mammoth tier? Saber. Okay. Anyways, Leo adjustment. Great. I'm ready for this one, guys. From the start of the game, he will have 1 rage. Okay, cool. Leo can now go through his clone body. Okay, also cool. He no longer gets body blocked by his own ability, even like Feaster does. Okay, great. Wow, let's add that. Can we please add that for Tentacles and Feaster, please? Thanks. Faster animation when performing normal attack and shorten the recovery attack. Okay, so when they say faster animation when performing his normal attack, I'm pretty sure that's when he throws it, it will go off quicker. So that means he has a better success of reaching through pallets. Okay, that's fine. That's a good buff. And shorten the recovery attack. Also, AI optimization of Leo, clone, and puppet. It will not stop for a moment before attack. Okay, that is huge. This right here is really good, because this was so garbage when you could just run it. Okay, if it is what I think it is, I pray to God that you just won't run in a straight line and the puppets will just miss you. Like, oh, let me just swing the hit, and then all of a sudden, oh well, puppet's useless. Thanks, puppet. So if that changes that, okay, that's actually a really good change. So overall, not bad buffs. Now I'm hoping that I see a move speed buff, but whatever. Let's see. If the clone of the puppet doesn't land a hit when attacking, they won't stop for 5 seconds. Okay, this thank Christ. Because again, the whole point of the puppet and whatever the just gets like disregarded completely. So increases Leo's movement speed. Good job. And then puppet retrieving speed. Quality of life. Okay. Optimizing puppet throwing with a long press. We noticed that Hellumber's lack chasing skills, so to overcome this, now he has 1 rage at the beginning of the match. Therefore, the adjustments were made to maximize the chasing capabilities. So, for dedicated Hellumber players, this is a lot of buffs. This is a lot of help to get him into a better place. I would have to see it in action and how survivors can react to it. Hellumber's chase is fucking awful. If you got caught early game by a Hellumber and you go down, you deserve to fucking lose the game. He deserves to have his monstrous fucking camping ability because you went down to a Hellumber. But now, it's a lot more understandable that you're going to be going down to him because he's going to have a lot more tools and utility in this kit to be able to actually hit you. Wow! Imagine 100 doing their job! But overall, I would have to see this in action with my own eyes itself. I think they posted videos down here below, but we'll see. We'll probably watch the videos and see what it does. the explanation, okay, cool, I guess. You noticed that he lacked chasing, so you gave him a little bit of chase. Good job. You actually backed it up, but not actually with your Dream Witch explanation, because your Dream Witch explanation for apparently sucking off Dream Witch is very peculiar. But this is not too bad, considering that Leo or Hellnumber is kind of a hunter to begin with. But I don't think in regards to like tiers, Hellnumber really like gains anything from this, because he's still like really impossibly hard to utilize in a chase. So, all right, Doctor change. Self-treatment. Now Doctor can only heal a fourth of a damage each time. The time to require the treatment has been halved. Interesting. Compared to other assist-type survivors, the Doctor ability isn't outstanding in most games. Well, say that's a photographer and come back to me. Plus, her self-defense isn't that good, and not many players like to pick Doctor in high tier. We hope this adjustment will increase Doctor's pick rate in high tier. From my understanding, if it takes half the time to heal a fourth of the damage, so realistically, first kite she could take 3 hits, right? That actually wouldn't be too bad then for Doctor, because she could heal the 0.25 like mid kite some way somehow, or you can. And then you just take an extra hit. That's actually not bad. That's actually pretty disgusting, to be honest. But well, apparently everyone and their mom deserves a to get a freebie, because we know how you mess up during a kite. We know how the hunter outplays you. You need the ability to make up for that. Because God forbid if the hunter actually does good early game, then that's a problem. That's a problem. Can't have that. So not much to really discuss here. That's pretty much the only use. I could see her being used more, but overall, I still wouldn't use her over just for that. She's still nasty against photographer, but yeah, I guess it's really situational. I guess if you really like Doctor, then here you go, Doctor mains. But overall, this doesn't really change her tier. But she's kind of just like a watered down barmaid essentially. But whatever. Mechanic. If this is a buff, we're gonna have some problems, Netties. You guys just nerfed her. It was a good nerf. Let it be. Robot will spawn behind mech every time she summons one. Okay. Now, robot and mech have independent POV, so it's more efficient when switching between mech and robot. You know that... Okay, explanation. You know that every time you switch from robot and mech, vice versa, the camera points to where mech is facing, but now they have their own camera POV, so if robot and mech don't face the same direction, you don't need to rotate the camera anymore. The previous nerf reduced bot durability. We hope that from adjustment this time, in situations where mech's got a decode debuff, she has a higher chance for successful body blockings for self-preservation with the doll. Okay, but as a lot of you guys see a lot of the time, if you're expecting the doll to come up, now what you just told me is, instead of a random doll that's gonna come out of maybe her left side, her right side, her forward, depending on where the it decides to come out, but now that I know it's gonna be directly behind her, and I'm expecting it, then I'm just going to put myself into a position that disregards it. Unless the game decides to say, hey, you're right in front of her, but hey, you're on the right side. So overall, this is just mainly quality of life. Mechanic, her tier is still roughly the same. She's still monstrous in tournament play. She's still so-so in solo queue. She's kind of still a disgusting like character to begin with, but if used correct, like in tournament play at least. But if you ever manage to get lucky with the rotation and get the doll down early, then the game becomes a lot better towards your favor. Solo queue with mech, yeah, I know, right? Imagine that. But this still keeps it relatively the same. Doesn't really change much. So not much to really talk about here. The POVs and again the robot spawn. All this did is, but mainly all this told me was, now I can at least expect it to come out behind her. So I could be so like, as you guys see a lot of times when I'm chasing a mechanic who I know has her doll in her hand, then you'll see, or any high tier hunter, not just me, then they'll expect that the doll will come out and that they'll just avoid it because she put herself in a single spot because she's standing still to place down the doll. Makes sense. Priestess. I'm not looking yet. I am praying to God that they either, one, nerfed her healing, nerfed long portal, or nerfed her placements of her short portals. I swear to God, if I don't see a meaningful nerf here, there's gonna be some problems, Netties. There's gonna be a lot of problems, actually. Okay, Priestess. Okay, when I saw Priestess at the beginning of this list, I am automatically there's a nerf because this character is stupid, brain dead, complete brain dead, complete. You do not need a brain to play this character. None. You at least need half a brain for Dream Witch, or not even half a quarter brain. You need half a brain. You need a half a brain for other hunters. Not Dream Witch, though. Not Bloody Queen either. But this character is everything wrong with this current video game. Priest player now can't make nor answer long portal on slide. I'm guessing that that is Moonlit. Okay. That's good. Because if she got onto slide, or if anybody got onto slide and answered the portal, then there's nothing you can do about that. Good nerf. Unable to warp to basement if you make a portal on second floor hospital. That's also good. Because now you can actually defend it from her. Okay. Okay. That's fine. But can that apply to Lakeside too, please? Thank you. Not just Sacred, because you could do that on Sacred. Normal portal duration from infinity to 70 seconds. So now the normal portal will disappear in 70 seconds and the hunter didn't break it. I don't see any more nerfs, devs. Netties, you forgot the other 5 things that you forgot to nerf. Netties, come get your character. Come get your character. Am I like losing my mind over this character? How hard is it? How bad? How hard? What is the process in your brain that goes through if you're a dev at Netties and says, what is wrong with this character? You don't say, oh yeah, it's portals. Yeah, it's definitely not the placements or long portal. Netties! What are you doing? What is it? 70 seconds? That does nothing still. Okay, granted she can't place portals, but what does this do? What if someone still manages to get from ruins to like hospital in 10 seconds? Not even 5 seconds. Then this nerf does nothing. You basically just nerfed nothing of this character. For a full season! A full 2 seasons actually. How do you do that? Explanation. This time, we restrict some terrains that the hunter can't counter after the portal open. Some terrains. So you mean to tell me that you know that there are still terrains out there that there's nothing that they could do about? If they get in a corner, you can't destroy it, so then it just nothing happens. So you mean to tell me that it's okay if I can't destroy portal? It's okay if they get it off? What are you trying to tell me, devs? That you know that there's more spots that you're not going to nerf? You're just going to nerf slide? Which is really hard to get off in general, because if I'm an idiot, I would chair them on slide when I know Priestess is still up. What about, okay, so, and you fixed the problem with second floor hospital. Okay, whatever, fine. But what about Lakeside? You can still do that from the stairs on Lakeside and get into basement. So I still can't defend it, right? And then the 70 seconds, what does this do? This just okay. So you mean to tell me that we're gonna change it to 70 seconds because they could at least do the cipher safely, at least. That's as long as you're gonna be on the cipher for. So there's only changes like throughout the game. So you can't have portals already lined up for when you're trying to escape from the exit. Okay, whatever. That's great, I guess. But if I'm chasing someone and they go to this area, the portals are still there. And there's nothing that I can do about it. There shouldn't be another character that affects a survivor's kite as mainly as this. Forward, okay, you could stun me. Prospector, you could stun me. That's fine. That takes skill. That requires you to get off your cipher and be there. With Priestess, I'm just gonna place it down and then you just run right through it. Why? Why? How hard is it to realize that this isn't the character's problems? This isn't the character's problems. And any priestess, this is why Priestess is played in nearly every single game. This is why they're played in every single tournament game. Every single Priestess knows how to play Priestess. It's not brain power. You do not need skill to play this character. And you are making it not even harder to play it. Why is she the only character allowed to make mistakes during a kite and say, you know what, let me just undo that? Or how about when, long portal exists to begin with? Why is she a character that can have these sort of tools in her kit? What is her debuff? She has slower vaulting and slower decode. Slower decode doesn't matter because the slower decode doesn't make. The only ones who makes a valid difference is mercenaries, maybe, and you're still getting Cypher Rushed with 3 rescue and a Priestess. Like, these aren't the reasons why your hunters, other than Dream Witch and Bloody Queen, are sucking complete. These aren't the reasons. This isn't what you do. This isn't what you do to fix a character. In most games, Priestess might not shots rarely get first chased. I wonder why. It's not as if the hunter wants to avoid them because they know they start off with a broken ability and that they can easily relocate to better areas with said ability. And that can lead to a lot of portals placed on the map, making it harder for a hunter to chase Survivor. Okay, so you know what to do. Now, fix it. Make it 20 seconds or 10 seconds even. So it requires skill to use the portal, or at least you could use it during a chase. Not so she could just stack it regardless. Like, it's. I swear to God, everyone at the playtest team who says, yes, this is fine, this is good, this is completely balanced, all have to be like elks or mammoths, low mammoths, because you clearly are facing only Dream Witch and Bloody Queens that are saying, okay, yeah, this is fine, and even then, Bloody Queen still struggles versus triple rescue and a Priestess. Do you want to know why? Because you gave each and every single one of those characters an ability that is easy to use, and really broken in most situations. Priestess has portals. In the right area, it's going to be Priestess. Mercenary's mercenary. Oh, for elbow pad, we're in game. Forward is forward. Because all he does is press a button. And then Gravekeeper, he could take 4 hits. So regardless, this does nothing to fix any of the core problems that this character has added to the game. This right here and the Dream Witch nerf is pathetic, quite honestly. These are 2 of your most dominant characters, and these nerfs do absolute dog. They just do absolute dog. What the? What are? So you mean to tell me that at the same time, they always looked at this character and said, yes, this is completely fine. This is good. This is good. This is all fine with Priestess. This will fix her. This does nothing. This does nothing to why Priestess is currently as dominant as she is. And why she's one of the best characters to be played right now. If Priestess is open and you don't pick her, that's a sin. Because your chances of winning when you're playing Priestess automatically go up 50% because of the things that this character offers. Faster healing, mobility, places that you could go easily with easy relocation, and with very minimal effort at that. You don't need much skill to do that. It's just a simple button press. And for long portals, you just hold that button. Wow. You make Dream Witch look like a big brain hunter at that rate, Priestess. You garbage nerf. Oh my god. How would I nerf Roach? Nerf her portal placing speed so I can actually react to her hitting, like putting down the portal, and also I could hit her before she puts it down last second. So I could, when I mind game her and I actually get close to her, she doesn't just press a button and gets out of there and stuns me. I would really like that. Nerf her healing, the long portal, that shouldn't be in the game. But whatever, right? Whatever. What do I know? I don't play this game. Alright, Dancer, what do you got for me? Slow music box only works for hunters. Fan-fucking-tastic. Yeah, great. So if you put this shit down, you don't affect any of your other survivors. Okay, whatever. That's fine. I don't care. A lot of hunters can counter this. But for, you know, hunters that aren't violinist or that aren't Bloody Queen, then you just have to eat the stuns. Fast music box works only for survivors. Again, okay, great. I guess. Makes sense. What else are you gonna do? External trait dancer deleted. If I recall, her external trait dancer was her decode debuff. I don't think that's her fall speed boost. I think that she still has that. I think that's a different one. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Movement speed from 20, 30, 40 to 15, 25, 35. So I'm guessing that's with the action. That's with the speed of like the boxes themselves. Okay, whatever. 15, 25, 35. So that got kind of nerfed. But if it only works for hunters, it, whatever. Action speed from 30, 40, 50 to 25, 35, 45, 5%. Really not that much. Interaction speed from 8, 12, 16 to 6, 9, 12%. Okay. So overall, it just got nerfed completely because it only affects hunters. And same thing with the fast music box. Roughly a 5% differential on everything. My voice is cracking a lot because I was yelling just a moment ago. Makes sense. So let's just go with my natural voice then. I'm not trying to speak higher because, you know, whatever. Interaction speed from 8, 12, 16 to 6, 9, 12. That's disgusting. So I'm going to say that's disgusting, but it's a good change if you're going to make it only for, like, side worthy or side drink water. No. Dancer's the trait about dancer not being affected by slow music boxes. Okay. So she still has a decode debuff. Okay, that's fine. The dancer's fast music box has a lower usage rate, and the slow music box controls the hunters. 3 slow music boxes are quite effective against chase hunters, such as Ripper. Yes, correct. So you're basically saying I have to eat it. However, it is difficult to exert effect on characters who can attack long distances, such as Bloody Queen. Time out. You are again generalizing a majority of your characters just because of the strength of one hunter. You cannot do that in the video game. If you have multiple characters and you say only because this one character is doing really well against this other one, then we're going to change it because of that one character. No, that's not how you do that. That's not how you balance. So the fact that Ripper, like hunters such as Ripper now has to suffer with this because of Bloody Queen, no. That's not a good reason. That's a terrible reason. Because now Ripper's going to have a tough time to chase this shit. Because all you have to do now on Dancer, place down the music box, run a straight line. What's the Ripper going to do? He has to eat the stun. Realistically, I don't know why they even changed Dancer to begin with, because overall, was she kind of subpar character? Yeah. Was she still usable, though? Yeah. Against hunters like Violinist, okay, she may not be as good, but against hunters like Feaster and Ripper, she might fare better because she could kite them. Maybe not so much Feaster, but definitely every other hunter for sure. We remove the effect of the fast music box on the hunter, so the player now more options to use the fast slow music box depending on the hunter she faces. So now, if they're kiting, I have to break the fast music box. Holy, talk about a buff for this character. Talk about annoyance. If she places down the slow music box, I have to eat the stun. And if she places down the fast music box, I have to break it, or else she's just going to outrun me every single time. Like, that fast box is a significant increase to movement speed. And the fact that I am now not going to get that significant movement speed buff, she is going to be able to loot me like it's nobody's business. So now I have to take the time to break the box. So you mean to tell me that now you're going to add a brainless aspect to this character? Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Netties. Another character to worry about. Map adjustment. Oh, boy. Let's see this. Arms Factory. After 11 seasons, guys, they actually decided that Arms Factory was not such a balanced place for most hunters. The only ones who really weren't affected by it were Dream Witch and Bloody Queen. Wow. But before that, nah. Ripper had a fun time. Feaster had a fun time. Ruchang had a fun time. All these other hunters had a fun time. One window becomes a door. Great. Thank you. You fixed what the problem with Arms Factory was. Add 1 pallet inside and outside factory. So you add a God pallet. So now I have to waste more time if I'm going to chase factory. Well, now at least I could say that I don't have to sit in that corner anymore, because like most survivors do. So it won't take me as much time to chair, which is fine. But that pallet now, and I've seen the pallet. It's a God pallet. You need to break the pallet. If you don't break the pallet, you're just going to get looped. Over and over. Simple as that. That's what a God pallet is. So they added a God pallet. It's as if there weren't any other God pallets in the map, like Shack. Or, back maze to begin with. Or factory ruins. Add a new kiting place, ruins. The location is between Shack Gate and Shack. I would need to see what it looks like. Adjust the position of the ciphers. Would need to see what it looks like. Explanation. Do we really need an explanation as to why Arms Factory got nerfed? Do we really need it? It's Arms Factory. It's 3 windows. It doesn't take much skill to loop that area. You don't need an explanation. But whatever. We're going to read that anyways, because netties. Combined with the 3-window structure inside factory and the pallet outside factory, it's a difficult terrain for a hunter to chase survivors. This change will weaken factory, and in order to solve the imbalance caused by this extreme adjustment, we added 1 kiting area between Shack and Shack Gate to solve the problem. No, you didn't. You didn't really need that area. Because if this is an extreme adjustment where survivors have to at least use their brain a little bit more, that's what you call an extreme adjustment? The survivors actually have to planning their routes smarter? You added the God pallet. Leave the God pallet. That's it. It's not extreme at all. It's getting rid of an imbalance against chase-oriented hunters that weren't Bloody Queen and weren't Dream Witch. So you mean to tell me you're going to add these God pallets and say, yes, this is totally fine. Because guess what? Because it's Survivor Side. So we have to keep it like that. I would have to see completely what the changes to that cipher positioning, and again to the new area, which again I think was posted down below, which we will look at, and I will just give my opinions on. We're gonna be here all night, baby. Leo's memory. Okay. Greatly reduce the length of the stairs inside factory. Add 1 pallet at the side door of factory. So again, another God pallet. So if they're gonna remove, or if they're greatly gonna reduce the length, does that mean that there's still that God pallet in Shack and on top of factory? Or is there gonna be that God pallet by that door alone? And what does this mean for, like, say, under, like, the whole balcony? Because regardless, if you ran the Leo's memory route, the factory route, which is, again, a brainless route, you vault the window, drop the pallet, run around, you could at least loop it once, and then go up the stairs, and that in itself burns 45 seconds. Just the walking. Walking in a straight line that you can't mind game is not a good mechanic to have in this game. You burn like 10, 15 seconds just walking that. And there's nothing you could do to mind game it. There's no chase. There's no chase involved. It's just walking in a straight line and then the survivors throwing down the pallets. That's not balanced. The factory in Leo's is a strong area to kite due to the position of the stair, windows, and pallets, thus making the chase hard on hunter side. Remove the window, maybe. Also, due to the structure of the stair inside, the survivors can contain hunters for a long time by looping the factory. This adjustment will reduce the possibility for survivors to go to second floor and looping that area. At the same time, we add 1 more pallet to maintain the balance. You didn't need the pallet. Remove the window, and factory won't be such a brainless fight. But the fact of the matter is, you're making these areas as brainless and as less thought-provoking as possible. That's a no-no. That's bad. I shouldn't have to follow you in factory for 30 seconds and then you say it's a strong kite. If you're in a good area and you say, I'm kiting the hunter, guys, look at my montage, look at my video, this is how you utilize this character. No, the fuck it isn't. You're running a stupid route. Stop bragging like it's some sophisticated I'm running a straight line. Like, no, you can't do that shit Dead by Daylight. You run a straight line in Dead by Daylight, you're gonna go down because you need a loop. So this map is still, depending on the change, again, we'll look at it. Map is still trash, but we'll see. Moonlit. Add one more Cypher spawn at third station. Adjustment for Cypher position. Some Survivor spawn adjustments. Fantastic. So now I have to relearn response. Moonlit is a large map where the Cypher placements are far from each other, and the survival rate for survivors on this map is low due to the placement of the Cyphers, such as the triple Cypher machine combination in some area. With this adjustment, Hunter will now have less chance to encounter 2 or 3 survivors at the same time, and the adjustment on Cypher machines will make survivors decode more efficiently. Hold the f*** on. Did you just explain that with this adjustment, Hunters now will have less chance to encounter 2 or 3 survivors at the same time? When the f*** am I ever running in a tournament setting? When am I ever running into 2 to 3 survivors at the same time? What? What game are you watching? It's Moonlit. When am I ever going to run into 3 survivors on Moonlit? Dude, it's the biggest map in the game. How are you going to explain it like that? If I'm running into 3 survivors at the same time, that's their fault. They're running into each other. Do you see how big that map is? In any high tier game or any tournament game where there's communication, that's never going to happen. This will never happen. So then why are you saying we're just going to adjust it like this? I have never seen an instance in an actual with a good team, mind you, not some brain dead team that has no idea what they're doing, but with a good team, they rotate properly. They will never run into one another. Even on the smallest map. What's the small? Even on Red Church, I will never run into 3 people at the same time. So you mean to tell me that you're also going to adjust the spawns because, the Hunter had a good path, and that's no bueno. That's no bueno. You want the survivors to spawn spread out so they could do those ciphers efficiently. I have never once. Maybe in low tier, but I have never once seen 3 survivors in the same. If you fuck up that bad to the point 3 people are on a cipher on Moonlit, you deserve to lose. It's not even 3 people. It's not even talking about 3 people on a cipher. It's talking about running into 3 people while they're rotating. That's a rotation at Netties, wouldn't you say? The survivors f***ed up. So then why does the Hunter have to suffer now? Unreasonable spawn point adjustment. Sacred Heart Hospital, survivor spawn behind shack. Lakeside Village, survivor spawn at shore and on small boat. Huh? Leo's memory, survivor spawn at the corner factory. Some spawn points are too weak, making the survivor can't reposition themselves to better area at the beginning of the match. Also, Hunter and survivor spawn too close in some areas. Spawn points don't really make that much of a difference, especially when rotation's a thing. Tournaments, again, don't take any regards from what the a spawn point is, because unless you're a photographer. But whatever. I guess that's the main problem. Exploit adjustment. Alright, well, let's try our best to understand what the trying to say, because I think the last time I read this I had a brain aneurysm and I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll just look at it when the time comes, and I did, so I'll best try to explain it in the video. External trait 1, zone of corruption. When there are several territories with pine trees nearby and a corrupted zone overlaps, a restful road will be created between the pine trees. When exploit on that path, it will increase movement speed. So this basically, if you have 2 trees next to one another, they will link together, and you could use that as his second tier ability. It's a built-in second tier ability. Okay. Whatever. When either one of the pine trees with the path between them is destroyed, the path disappears. Well, that's expected. When the survivor leaves the corrupted zone, the spirit balls from the corrupted zone will continue to drift the survivor for near 30 seconds. Okay. That's a good buff. That's really fucking good. Because if at any point they left the tree area, then Axeboy is just kind of useless. And he can't really do much about it because you just walked out of the area and there's no more flames by you. So he has to put down a tree. But he puts down but for the time it takes him to put down a tree, you just leave. You just leave the area. So there's nothing more that you could do about it. But now, since it actually comes near you for 30 seconds, that's not bad. So basically, his tier 1, if you create 2 trees that links together, which gives you faster movement speed, basically, okay. And then once you leave an area, you still have the pressure of the fireballs. Okay, not bad. Tier 2 skill. When a moving survivor leaves the corrupted zone, the movement speed reduced for 3 seconds. Okay. Depending on how much that is, will it be influential or not? Okay, we'll see. Decrease the range of the soul that... Why? From 50 meters to 32? Why? Why? They're just killing all hunters? I'm pretty sure that's what they're trying to do at this point. Hunters are having success for a season? Can't have that. But why? Why nerf the range? I physically can't comprehend why. They didn't change his zone or anything. Why not give him that luxury? He's already a terrible chase, and he's too RNG related to begin with, but whatever. The time for the soul to respawn increased from 20 to 30 seconds. Again, why? The speed for the soul reduced from 20 meters a second to 16 meters a second. Is that the speed boost that you get from it, or is that just the lingering speed of it just drifting around? Because again, why? Why? I don't understand. You get a really nice buff on this character with that tier 1, and then you just nerf him. So this just means he has less range to do, like less range to work with in the tree area. The time for the soul to respawn increased from 20, like, so you have less, so you have more downtime than Ripper with his fog. Okay, but you have 2 souls, so that's understandable. But the fact that you can't just rapid fire, whatever. Restful, and then the speed, but I don't think that really matters. Restful road width increased from 2 to 3.4 meters. Okay, that means you're just able to, I guess, just be on the edge more. Yeah, that's literally what it is. Restful road cooldown reduced from 25 to 18 seconds. Okay, a little bit more mobility. That's not bad, but when am I ever really going to use this during a chase? Right? Movement speed when exploit on the Restful road that spawned from overlapping corrupted zone is slower compared to the Restful road from tier 1 skill. Okay, again, you nerf the character, but what else are you gonna do? Like, I mean, you should have just left it as is, because realistically, I'm never gonna use it as often as, like, say, you know, his actual ability. But I'm guessing they did that because it might stack? Question mark. We'll see. Again, this is kind of vague, so we'll watch the video about it. Survivor can't be hit by soul 2 times within 12 seconds. Why? I guess they wanted to get rid of the presence thing. You know, if you didn't want the survivor to get hit by 12 seconds, you could have just given him the cooldown, like you did with Wu Chang, when he gets full presence. But again, okay, because Axeboy totally needed that nerf because he totally kept getting that off in games, but whatever. Remove height restriction for planting trees. So that means I can actually place it wherever the I want, right? And not just by, like, and I can't be on Big Boat or something. Wow, thank you for actually letting me use my ability, nutties. Axeboy's bad at map pressure. Okay, so I'm hoping that you decided to go through with these nerfs in map pressure. I see no map pressure really added here, other than the 2 trees. So automatically, they already up on one buff about him. Has no control on pine tree placements at the beginning of the game, and weak outside the corrupted zone. Yes, correct. Inside corrupted zone, the soul movements are too random, and only after unlocking tier 2 skill, his camp increases greatly. Yep. We hope from this adjustment can improve stability at his chasing and map control. His map control is still netties. You f***ed up. And his chasing, okay, it could be a little bit more consistent with how flames will stay near survivors. Since the soul linger around the surrounded survivor can give surprise attacks, we reduce the range and soul speed. No. If they're paying attention, they will keep mind of where the soul is. You don't want, like, you don't need to say, oh, it could give surprise attacks. Again, good players won't be affected by it. Good players won't be affected by it. Again, you're regarding people who have very minimal game sense and have no idea how to play the game properly. Just pay attention to the souls. Force your players to actually use their brain, and then maybe, just maybe, they'll become better players from it because they're paying attention. But who am I, right? If I get hit by an Axeboy soul, I'm saying, wow, I didn't pay attention to the Axeboy soul, because if I paid attention to the Axeboy soul, then I could have dodged it. So now when he activates, it's gonna come like slow as hell, and it's gonna be easier to dodge. Really? Really? Why buff? Why nerf that on your character? You started this off completely good, and then you just nerf him in all aspects. But again, We haven't seen it in action, so I can't say anything. A lot of people, besides me, said the Feaster rework was gonna make him useless because all of a sudden his tentacles didn't automatically hit. But I called that shit when he said when I saw the Feaster buff. I said this man is gonna be strong as hell because he actually has controls of his tentacles now, and he can actually place them quickly. But everyone was in arms saying, "Oh, Feaster, trash now." In reality, he's one of the best hunters in the game. Well, not one of the best, but a strong one. Not overwhelming, but skillful. But with this, from what I'm interpreting it to be, if it's less random, okay, he's better. But the fact is that you can't nerf a character based on what, like, the random aspect, because your survivors aren't paying attention, or your playtesters just suck and then they don't know what to do about it. So, chat adjustment. This is the dungeon. Run. I'm going to the cellar. When approaching the basement, the chat will automatically change to this is the basement. Escape fast. Leave the basement. If the dungeon and basement are close, the game will prioritize dungeon is here, chat. Okay. Whatever. Whatever. That's quality of life. Rescue adjustment. All survivors can immediately rescue after getting attacked. Either normal attack or skill like a bomb, tentacle, foggy. What? Camping is an important element on a match. But in the current version, there are many hunters who can prevent rescue by attacking Survivor multiple times in a short period of time, and Survivor without self-defense can't rescue. We hope we can reduce rescue difficulty with this adjustment. Hold on. You mean to tell me that you nerfed any camping hunter because of Bonbon? So you couldn't have just said, yeah, let's make the bombs not interrupt rescue. Nor do I see, speaking of Bon, nor do I see a single nerf to him to begin with. So you nerf Ripper and you nerf Feaster. So am I getting my compensation on Ripper and Feaster? Because that's where Ripper's strength was. If Ripper landed a foggy on during the camp, then you deserve to almost risk getting stuffed. You could still insta-rescue afterwards. But just because one character is just really stupid at camping, you're gonna nerf the other two! Why? With tentacles, you just circle around it, or you just bait it out. With Ripper, it's the same thing. Bonbon, all you do is press a button. Ripper, you need to aim. Ripper, you need to have patience. He has one chance and one chance only to hit the fog, and you make it even easier against him? Why? You might as well nerf Mad Eyes' camping then. Mad Eyes' camping is still bull. When is that getting nerfed? How about that? But no, because Foggy Blade, oh yeah, you can still run and risk getting stuffed because the Ripper played it well. Any good rescuer will dodge the tentacles and foggies, but a good rescuer is gonna have a hard time versus a good Bonbon. Good rescue versus good Feaster, you can still dodge the tentacles. Good Ripper versus good rescue, still gonna you can still miss the foggy. Good Bonbon though, all you're gonna do is just out bombs. Why? Where's the compensation? You could have literally just made this change only to Bonbon. Why is this a universal rescue adjustment? Ripper didn't need it. Ripper is already considered a subpar hunter. He's not as good or dominant as he used to be. Feaster, he's okay, he's good, but his camping is what makes him Feaster. And it's the fact that you could have that patience during a camp to get the stuff. You miss one tentacle regardless because they could dodge it, then you miss the camp. If you don't have full presence, that is. How do you let this change go through to any of those other characters that isn't Bon? I'm sorry that Bon, once he's on the camp, I will shut out bombs because that's all I do now. I can't just out Foggy Blades, unfortunately. And I can't shoot out Tentacles if I don't have them. And if I'm not full presence, then what the fuck else am I gonna do? On Feaster, at least. You could have just said this change was only to Bonbon, but no. You had to include Ripper. You had to include Feaster. And you wonder why your hunters that aren't Bloody Queen and Dream Witch mains suffer so much in this game. You mean to tell me one hunter's gonna ruin it for the rest? You can't do that. That's what I just said. You can't balance an entire game off of Dream Witch and Bloody Queen. You can't. Nerf those two hunters, nerf the survivors that are causing problems, and then buff the other characters that need the buffs. Wu Chang, he was a perfect example of that. Wu Chang is in a really great spot. He requires skill to play, and he is easily beatable with proper skill, with proper communication, and like, if the hunter is not well versed on him, then he's gonna lose. But there's still a chance for him to win. Wu Chang was the perfect embodiment of that. Ripper was kind of the perfect embodiment of that, but Ripper is not as stand holding as the other hunters right now. Because of the fact that he's so easily punishable. And there's no compensation for that, mind you. Bonbon was already disgusting enough if you learned him. This is another case of Bonbon being high skill cap, but also great reward from me. Because all you do is shout bombs on the character. This is a heavy nerf to Ripper. Because now he's not going to be able to double hit as easily. And this is also a somewhat significant nerf to Feaster. Trust me, you will notice the difference. Ever Sleeping Town. If the survivor is run over by train, survivor will get stunned 5 seconds instant KO. Okay. If a hunter is run over by a train, stun time is 5 seconds. Okay. Equal balance. Whatever. That's fine. Survivor that guy on the tram can't get off till next stop. Okay. That forces them to stay on it. Okay. Whatever. I don't really care about it. If you avoid train, you avoid train. You have a brain. Just pay attention to when it's coming. And that's basically it. So what I got from most of this, Nettie still has no idea how to balance a game. Nettie still has no clue what to do in regards to how to balance a video game. They are completely balancing this game off of what Dream Witch and Bloody Queen are doing, which is the complete wrong idea of how to balance a video game. They look at statistics and data like the win rates and stuff. That right there is their mistake. They should not be looking at win rates and data. If they were looking at win rates and data, you would have noticed that Asia Survivors last season had an 85% win rate without any changes regarding to any of the top hunters. Hunters need to have the power roll, but win rates don't really matter when also in conjunction of tournament play. So in tournament play, you just made the game even more easier for survivors because of what solo queue is entailing. So you just made this game 110% more harder because of those two hunters that are outstandingly strong. You're not gonna give compensation to the hunters that you've indirectly nerfed, but you're just gonna wipe your hands and say we're fine. This is fine. This is okay. It isn't that hard to look at what is causing problems in your game. Dream Witch, Bloody Queen, Seer, Mercenary, Priestess. Nerf all of those characters. Nerf every single one of them. Nerf at the speed at which your games are flying, so tournament play is a lot more enjoyable on both ends. It requires more skill rather than just a hunter preparing, or like honestly preparing to just camp and then pray to God that, ciphers don't fall as quickly. I do not know. Alright, well, I guess we can watch the videos together. That's fun. This quality's garbage. This quality's about as good as my toilet, but who cares, right? Alright, good to see that she's still blind. She could see a little bit better. She could see a lot better, actually. Okay. That's actually really good. That's actually really good, because now you can actually see where the f*** you're going. That's fine. That's perfect. She deserved that. Twitter quality? Yeah, for real. Oh! Look at that pushback! Oh, okay. I could see it being better if you're closer. So if they're right next to you, just push them back and then they miss their hit. I want it. Does it cancel the hit completely? Can he still get the hit off? Let him throw the hit. Stop spamming it. Oh, she could. Oh, and notice how she could use the cane during the kite. Let him throw a hit. I want to see if it cancels a hit. So what I'm seeing from like the whole like vision, she could see a ton better, and that pushback is significant, more significant based on how close you are. That's a 45-second cooldown, and it's only a little pushback. You're still gonna catch up to the mind's eye. You're still not gonna do much of anything, as mind's eye. So these are 2 independent cooldowns. So I'm guessing those are 2 just independent cooldowns. So that's kind of whatever, I guess. I don't really care, but we'll see. Is this the factory change? Let's find out. Call his fucking ass. Okay. No! Pause. This right here, God palette. You still have to break that palette. Granted, they got rid of this, but they still have to break this palette. Is this area still out there? Turn around. Turn around. Turn around, you Alright, hold on. Let me rewind it. I could still see a little bit of that area. If that area's still behind there, this palette's not needed. You get the speed boost from window. Unless you're like a rescue or something. They changed her mechanic's voice. What the f*** is this? Okay, it's mind gameable on this side. Okay, it's unsafe. Whatever. Is that the area? No, they added something outside of shack. Automatically I see a window. So they could relocate to that really OP area. What the f***? What the f*** is this? What the? Look at the size of that rock! Holy shit! If you're a fast vaulter, you're not getting mind gamed! What the f*** is that? And there's a window there! This is like near God palette worthy. Why is this rock huge? There's no mind game potential here. You have to walk all the way around. Look how much distance you have to walk. You throw down that pallet, look how far, look how much you have to go. And there's a window right there. Oh my god. Okay, so there's a cipher there. Okay, cool. So this place is super safe. You have a pallet, you have a window. They come from this side. Or if you're a gatekeeper, you just throw down the pallet. If you're anyone else, you vault that window, you go straight to shack, and boom, you have another god pallet. What? And if you're coming from shack, you have an easy transition area because you go straight to the window, and then you just go to the ruins factory back there. So this made it 10 times. Why? This is the whole point. You avoided this area. If you were here, that's your fault. Why is there a cipher here? They put a cipher here? Oh my god. Oh my god. This is disgusting. Oh my. This is what? Do any of you know how disgusting this area is? Vault that window, or the one behind this window? The one behind that window. Or how about this window over here? Or how about the window right here? Oh, you have 2 pallets right there. So what if I'm not playing? You just have to give up the cipher. You just actually give up the cipher. Because this area is an automatic, unless the survivor plays it like garbage, this is an automatic like 50 seconds. with how much resources you're given. And the fact that they put a cipher there. Remove that window. Remove that window. That one right there. Remove it. If I'm getting heartbeat and I'm over here, I'm going straight to that window, vaulting it, and I'm not getting caught for another 50 seconds at least. Oh boy, time to get on my porn sites. JK, I don't have porn. I just want to see his recovery though. Amazing! Good start that you miss him when you're like at least like only an inch away from him, but still you missed him. Good, great. That was a great start so far. Good to know. Okay. The change is very insignificant. He didn't even throw it. Let's watch Doc, Postman, and Mac, I guess. Okay. So this right here, you heal yourself a quarter, and then you could take another hit. So mid kite, if you get the heal off, you're basically barmaid. Okay, so he's hovering the letter. He has the dog next to his fucking letter. Looks so stupid. What dog is ever gonna do that? Does this ignore terrain? Okay, well that showed me literally nothing. But, I mean, I guess it showed me literally nothing. It didn't really show me his move speed after, but if it ignores terrain, then it's literally the dog the shit is like. Okay, like I said, this was just a quality of life buff. So you wouldn't have to deal with, like, turning the camera constantly. Yeah, that's a good way to demonstrate it. Just spam it. I like that. And now it's directly behind her whenever she spawns. Why'd he spawn so far from her? Was it because of the other doll in the way? Why is he so far from her? What the f? So you're just getting free hit regardless if he's spawning right like that far away. Look how far away he is. Okay. Well, thank you for telling me the bot spawns a foot away behind her. I mean, I'm not gonna be going for hits that far away from her if I know she's gonna be placing a doll. Like in situations like this, that's useful because you could just put it like that. Then you have to hit the exploit adjustments. Okay, thank you, Aya. I didn't see that before. Potentially sensitive content. Oh yes, look at this potentially sensitive content. All right, so let's just see it in action. Even though the quality sucks dick. Okay, there you go. Good job. See, now you have that little path between them. That's very specific. When am I? That's very situational too. Wait, he dragged the tree to the thing. Oh, and it plants a tree at the end of it. Oh, that's not bad. Notice he's pulling the tree onto his path, and then where he places the path, a tree will spawn. Oh, that's a good quality of life buff. Because now you don't have to waste the time to plant the tree once you get there. Oh. And this also keeps the path between them connected. So you can make the path yourself. Okay. Okay. That's not too bad. Did it not spawn that tree because it was too far? Like, into the wall? This area is still disgusting. They need to nerf the size of that rock. Okay, so it seems if you place it in an area where it won't spawn, it won't spawn. So use your brain. But it will spawn there. This is a long path. Do you still get that move speed all the way around? Holy that's a long path. And that stays there, too. Does it? It does. That's actually not too bad. That whole idea. But the regular, like if you place it like regularly and it connects, then I could see that being really inconsistent. This one's good for map pressure a little bit. I could see that being good though. That right there, I could actually see Exploit being pretty well used because of that. Because now he doesn't have to waste the time to just place down the tree right after. So he could just straight up go there, place the peeper, and then there you go. Voila. So that's actually not too bad. Tomologist and judge, whatever. Okay. Alright, great to see. I still have this god palette here. Because that is a god palette. Woo! Already! God palette! Ooh. Okay, you need to break that palette. There's still this drop and this area. This is actually not bad at all. I like this. Because before, you ran in here, you ran all the way around, and like I said earlier, you're just burning time just by walking in a straight line. And it's so counterintuitive. So that whole area being removed is actually pretty good considering it was just a time waster. And I don't notice a pallet up here. Unless she's just not going to show it. So that being this whole area, especially with this, like they still have this double pallet area. That pallet shouldn't be there in my opinion, or at least remove this pallet. Like this god pallet, it's kind of disgusting still because you can still just run in a straight line and get the same thing done. But the fact of the matter is, if you get a heartbeat now you can't just autopilot and get a free 50 seconds because all of a sudden they just have to walk around in a straight line. Not a bad adjustment. Doesn't really fix what's wrong with Leo's though. That whole factory area, remove that drop down. I would say remove that window, but whatever. I guess you can't get everything you want. That's just the inner hunter main talking. Alright, let's read about her skills before we get into it. You can collect insects using the nets. When Hunter moves through the horde of insects, the movement speed is reduced by 70%? For how long? When an insect swarm is collected, players can switch viewpoints and can manipulate the swarm right and left and forward. The swarm can push hunters and survivors that you are not operating when they are moving at high speed. Mixed region. She can put a special region on the window or pallets she vaults, making the pallet and window slippery, thus giving a 10% vaulting buff to other survivors. Shows she's a support. Due to the aroma she produces, hunters can see her outline for 5 seconds even if the player are out of 100's field of view. So like here. So I'm just gonna autopilot onto her every day. Wait, so I'm gonna just go straight for her. What? Okay, cool. I mean, as a hunter main, that enlightens me, but as a survivor player, that's kind of bad. Because then I just chase her. And then what's she gonna do? She doesn't have any insects. Or whatever the But I'm curious about this ability. Damn, you ugly. Take off that mask. She has the bees flying around her. Okay. Okay. I mean, I guess. There's a little bit of a difference. Okay, there's a swarm. Holy f. Okay, so it's if you're okay, so it's not a duration, it's just if you're in the swarm. Holy sh. Look how slow he's moving. Wait. Hold on. Hold on. Can she place that anywhere? Can she place that anywhere? If she can, that's broken. She can? Do you see that? You could place that anywhere, like over here by 10. Or any choke point, and you're slowed down that much. What the f? And what is it when she's actually controlling it? Excuse me? You show... What? Excuse me? No. No. What? Is there counterplay to this? Look how long the duration is. How do I get out of that? My dude's walking in a straight line. He's not getting out. What the f? What do I even say about that? What do I even say about that? What opinion do I give? A survivor who has a really great kiting ability, has good support, and then that. I guess that's why they put the debuff on her, that you see her for 5 seconds. Endgame with her will be. It's just any possibility. Imagine endgame. If you're at gate already and you're controlling that swarm, all of a sudden, Hunter, you're just pushing the Hunter away. What the f? Crazy how Netties can bang out these really useful survivors, like, you know, Prisoner, not bad. Like, what the f? How do you make such banger survivor characters, and then every sort of Hunter or two, you guys just shit the bed? What the f is that? What am I supposed to do? Is there counterplay to that? I saw her ability barely getting used. I don't know, man. It must be me because I have a bias, I guess. But I don't know. I don't be able to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Like, regardless, if it's not me playing, then it's a problem. Let me not put that on yet. Like, is there much else to say off of that? Thank you for connecting. I appreciate that. Demand Bloody Queen and pull out this. Yeah, makes sense. Bloody Queen, what a problem. And now you have this in the game. Yeah, I